Welcome to the Business with Heart podcast. Conversations, lessons, and stories around building your business, life, and everything in between. Tears, laughs, inspiration, motivation, and sometimes the tough love and kick in the ass you need. My name is Natalie DiVincenzi, business mentor for kind-hearted, ambitious female entrepreneurs who crave confidence, making an impact, and authentically growing their business. Hello, my loves, and welcome to this episode about going all in. So if you're here and you're listening to this episode, you might be someone who prioritizes and loves comfort. And don't get me wrong, I am definitely one of those people too. I love being comfortable, but being comfortable is also what held me back for so long. Being comfortable is what held me back from starting my business, from leaving my 9-to-5, from doing what I was honestly fucking called to do. And so I want you to know what it's like to go all in versus to dip your toe in. So let's do it right now. Let's go all in on this topic, all in on this episode. I want you to be here 100% fully committed to listening to what I have to say. So I want you to first just sort of think about, what is it like when you are just dipping your toe in the water? How do you feel in your body? How do you act? Are you like, maybe I will, maybe I won't? How's your tonality? Is it that wishy-washy tone that I just kind of gave? Or is it bold, ready to take action, fully invested, fully in? Are you confident? You're clear. You're speaking with just clear direction and boldness. What's it like when you're all in? What's the opposite of that? What's the opposite side of just dipping your toe? How are you? How do you act? How do you show up? Are you just like, fuck it, let's go? Or are you like, I'm not sure I'm going to do it? There's such a difference between, we can even see just in the way that we speak, the way we talk, the way in which we show up is so different when we are just dipping our toe in the water versus being all in. And listen, you have to understand why we prefer to be safe and to be comfortable. It's because it's our brain's literal job to do that. It is our survival mechanism to keep us safe. But you have to understand and you have to separate your mind and your brain and what it's trying to do for you. And remember and realize that everything outside of you that you want lies on the other side of pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. Because what you want now isn't within your comfort zone. If you want to stay where you are, you're going to see the same reality. If you want a different reality, you have to change what you're doing, which requires you to get out of your comfort zone. And the fastest way to achieve that new reality is by going all in. Just going for it. And so I want to share 2 stories with you today about going all in. And I want you to notice too, even in your own life, like, what is it that you have gone all in on? And how has that turned out for you? This isn't even a story that I plan on talking about in this episode, but some of you may or may not know, but I have an international relationship. My boyfriend and I actually met while traveling in Budapest. I did not know him going into it, but we met at a hostel, and I had been challenged by a friend to go on a solo trip to Europe, and so I did. And what had happened was I met this guy, yes, very eat, pray, love, and we hit it off, and we went back to our separate countries, and we were talking, and there was just this gnawing and nagging feeling within me, like, I have to find out what this is. So he invited me over for New Year's to Australia. So here I am. I just went overseas for the first time by myself, halfway across the world. Now I'm going to do it all the way across the world. And I'm going to do it not just for 14 days, I'm going to do it for 2 months. Wow, great idea. And I'm going to also ask my boss to take 2 full months off of work. Great idea, right? So I'm going all in. I'm just doing this. I have no idea if we're actually going to connect. I'm now staying with his family. No idea, but I just know that there's this feeling inside of me that wants more. And maybe you felt that with your business. Maybe you felt that with, what you want out of life, what kind of life you want to live. And I know I felt that romantically with him, and I felt that with pursuing my actual calling in business as well. And so with him, I went over there, and it was just amazing. And I can't even imagine if I didn't listen to myself and I didn't go all in, even though it was terrifying, even though other people told me I was crazy, what would have been. But now here we are, 4 years later, so happy, have created the most beautiful life for ourselves. And all of that came because I went all in, and I challenged myself, and I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. Not just once, not just twice, multiple times. And I have the most beautiful and fulfilling relationship out of it. And so the same thing kind of happens when you also do that with your business. When you push yourself, you challenge yourself, the most beautiful and fulfilling things can come out of it. And so now getting back to one of the stories I actually did want to talk about, which one of them does have to do with my boyfriend. He has recently decided, or he's gone into running a lot, half marathon a lot. And he recently ran one just by himself on the Santa Monica Pier and Boardwalk. But now when we're going back to Australia next month, he decided, I'm going to run another one on my birthday. I'm like, okay, great. Sounds good. You do that. You and the boys, cool. He got his friends to join. Then he comes to me the next day and he's like, hey, Nat, so a few of the girls are coming and they're going to be running the 5K. Did you want to join? And I was like, no, not really. He's like, you're going to be sitting alone on the sidelines if you don't join the 5K. Shit, I have to now join this 5K because I don't want to be sitting there while I'm watching everyone else run and get in the game and go all in while I'm just sitting there watching everyone else do it. And how many times have you done that with business where you're sitting on the sidelines, you're watching everyone else all in on their business, and you're just like, oh, I'll just sit from the side and watch. I'll just see what they're doing and then I'll maybe try. I wasn't sure at this point either that I could actually run a full 5K. Usually I run about 2 miles and I call it, but I haven't run 3 miles in a really long time. And I ran cross country in high school, and so I really just don't enjoy running anymore because I ran so much to the point where it's like, ugh, I can't think of anything worse. I only do it when I really feel like I need to clear my mind and get energy up. But again, it's 2 miles. It's not 3.1 miles. So I was like, great, I got to do this. So he's like, okay, great, I'll sign you up. And then I'm like, fuck, I got to start training. He's like, what do you mean training? I'm like, well, if I'm doing it, I'm running the race, I'm not just going to la-di-da, just do it to complete it. I'm all in. If I'm in, I am all in. So he's like, no, you and the girls you guys can just walk and chat or just slow jog, you'll be together. I'm like, no, Christian, if I'm doing a race, I'm doing a race. I am running it to run the race. I want a medal. I am going all in. And the really important thing here, it's how you do anything is how you do everything. And that's the thing. It's once I decide I'm in, and I'm very, very particular about what I commit to, because you have to sort of make that commitment. If I'm going to commit, I'm fully going to commit. Because if you break those commitments and you show yourself okay, I'm committing, but I know I'm not actually going to do it, you're going to start to weaken what commitment actually means to you. So when you commit, you have to stick to the commitment, and you have to push yourself a little bit beyond that, what I call a realistic push. And that starts to build up your commitment bank and starts to build up your confidence bank. And so it's really just I'm in, I'm doing it, I'm going all in. I'm running a 5K. So the next day I went to the gym and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do my 2 miles, work a little bit on my speed. But then I realized, no, I need to show myself that I can actually do this. Like, can I actually run a 5K? I don't know that I can do it in one go without stopping. So let me do this. And I went and I ran past a 5K. I did my realistic push. I was like, I'm doing a 5K. I'm not stopping until I achieve it. And I did it and I ran past that. And it felt so good. So now I'm like, okay, yesterday I committed to doing this 5K. Today I ran a 5K. Tomorrow I'm going to keep running and working at it. And I'm all in. Like, I am committed. And if you're someone who has a problem or feels challenged by commitment, start small. Just start with baby commitments to start to build up that commitment bank, to show yourself that you can stick to your commitments. And make sure when you do commit that you don't break those, because breaking just one commitment can lead to then breaking others. So start small, even if it's just, I'm going to do a 2-minute walk. And then the next day you do 3 instead. Whatever it is, start small, build it up little by little, bigger and bigger. So I also had this recently. I partook in a 30-day Instagram challenge, and I had no clue how I was going to do this. I literally was like, I'm going to be at this 4-day intensive conference. The hours are like 10 to 10. I'm going to be with my friend, and it's her birthday. So like, how am I even going to take away time from her birthday when we're already at this conference to sit on social media to get my post challenge done, and like all these other things that were going on. But I knew when I commit, I have to do it. I am all in. And there were some people who didn't show up every single day, and there were some very reasonable reasons. However, I know for myself as a person, when I'm committed, I'm committed. So we did this full 30-day challenge, and it ended yesterday. And I'm so proud of myself for doing it. Now, the funny part about that is about day 27, another girl who I've been talking to, she's like, hey, I'm going to actually extend this challenge from 30 days. And I'm going to create another group chat if you want to participate. And it's going to be a 90-day challenge. If you want to participate, like this message. Me, being a person who just loves every message because I love what people are saying, liked the message, got thrown in a 90-day challenge, and I was like, oh shit, what did I just commit to? So I gave it some thought. I was like, you know what, Natalie, like, you've already seen progress from committing to that. Like, that showing up every single day has changed your business. You know what it was doing before you kind of slowed down. You know what it's going to do if you amplify that again for twice as long. You might as well keep the momentum, like keep going. When you're working on something and you have even just a little bit of momentum, don't stop. That is not the time to stop. It is time to keep going, and to ingrain that habit even more. So I am committed to the 90 days, which is crazy. So check back in with me at the end of January when the 90 days will be complete. But, it is a big thing to commit to go all in and to decide, wow, like I am going to show up, even if it is messy, dirty, inspired or uninspired action. I'm going to show up every single day and I'm all in. And just seeing how that completely changes the way that you show up, to everything that you do once you are committed. Like once I was committed to that Instagram challenge, I showed up differently. I showed up in ways that were focused on, how can I not overthink things and think about how I can not just get it done, but I can do it and do it well and take some time off of that. And I saw results. I definitely saw results. So now how can I, extending that an extra 60 days, see how far that can go? So my lesson here today is go all in. If you've been thinking about starting the business, if you've been thinking about wanting to start a course, if you've been thinking about wanting to offer something new, go all in. Just see what happens. The only thing that you'll learn is either a lesson or you'll get something great out of it. So try, just do it and see the difference. You are going to notice a difference without a doubt. And notice your energy. Notice how you show up when you're all in versus your, I'm just going to dip my toe in the water, right? Notice the difference. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I just cannot wait to see what you do with your life and with your business. And if you want to message me about what you are going all in about, let me know. I want to hear and I want to support you. All right, my loves, have a great and beautiful day.